So when we think about the full ROI, 650% is probably a conservative number. It's probably closer to 900% ROI based off of how much we're paying and all of the great things that we've seen in leveraging the platform. So my name is Alex Miklin. I'm Vice President of Professional Services at TalentReef. Been with the company for about 9 years now. I run the implementation, integration, and partnership work streams. TalentReef is a recruitment, marketing, and onboarding platform that was built for the hourly, decentralized workforce. So we support customers primarily based within the US who are looking for an automated and efficient process to recruit, source, and hire candidates through a SaaS-based platform. We found that there was a challenge to get customers live within a time frame that made sense. So historically, before we had Workato, anytime we implemented a new customer, it required a custom integration to be built through our internal engineering department. These integrations would take anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, which slowed down our ability to recognize revenue and to show time to value for our customers. Another challenge was just the overall spend within our engineering department. So we found that it was taking anywhere from 2 to 4 resources to be able to support integrations specifically tied to ARR. And we wanted to be able to either repurpose that headcount or reduce that. Because of our legacy approach within engineering, we saw that we were constantly providing concessions to customers because they couldn't go live in time due to the time it took to collect requirements for the payroll integrations, develop it, test it, get it deployed. So that was a big one for us. Another one was just reducing our backlog. So on any given month, we had hundreds of tickets in our backlog waiting in engineering. There was prioritization, and there was always customers that got impacted either in implementation or within customer success. And so what we wanted to be able to do is take more of an agile approach so that we have a set of repeatable connectors and we're able to implement faster. The 2 other solutions that we looked at with Workato were Dell Boomi, which is I guess now Boomi, and then Tray.io. So we did a bake-off in the end. And we gave each company a simplified use case of leveraging our API and taking our data and sending it to a third party. And of the 3 companies, Workato was actually the only one that achieved all of the requirements that we gave, and we're able to articulate in an easy way how it was done. The reason why we really liked Workato was, one, because of the flexibility to support different integration types through a modernized UI. We saw with some of the other players that they had legacy technology that wasn't necessarily user-friendly. Our goal was not to have to hire a set of ETL developers to be able to manage the platform. We wanted this to be a decentralized model that can be run through an implementation consultant within our professional services organization. And that was achieved. Another big piece was the growing marketplace. So, some of the other iPaaS solutions do have marketplaces, but we thought that the marketplace through Workato was relevant to us. It had a ton of HR-based connectors. And since we've signed, there's been a lot more that have been added. So the community and the number of connectors on the marketplace we thought was great. Another piece was the engagement with sales. So throughout our entire experience with NAM and the sales team, we never felt like we were being nickel and dimed. Everyone was flexible and built a model that aligned with our scale and our usage, which is not something that we were able to achieve with the other vendors. And then the last piece was the support model. When you look at working with a massive company, you feel like a number when you have issues. And when we worked with Workato, we got the feeling that we were a customer, not a number, and would get treated with priority or support. And that's held to be true beyond what our expectations were. Yeah, so within TalentReef, our customers expect that we'll be able to take their new employee data and send it into a downstream payroll system. This is systems like ADP or UKG as an example, but also some of the smaller payroll vendors. And so through Workato, we've built out a set of repeatable connectors that can now be activated within either a couple hours or a couple of days and turned on to support a bi-directional feed of sending new hire data from TalentReef into the payroll system and then consuming any types of changes. This was a big thing for us because now that we had this repeatability, we didn't have to have our customers design the integration, which was always a challenge when you were dealing with HR level resources who didn't necessarily have the time or the skill sets to be building out an integration. The biggest change that we're seeing is we're not getting complaints anymore. Customers aren't coming to us with defects or asking for enhancements to our process because it works really well since we've implemented Workato. And from an implementation standpoint, we reduced our timeframes year over year by over 30%. And to just give you a metric around payroll integrations, because that's really the biggest thing that we work on is facilitating new hire data into payroll companies that our customers use. We went from 2 to 8 weeks to now 1 to 5 days for the majority of our customers. And it's a very repeatable approach. It's stable and we don't have defects, which is a really big thing for us. So all in all, we saw $750K in increase tied to GAAP revenue acceleration from an implementation standpoint. So we've actually implemented 200 customers in just about 6 months on the platform. It's about 7 times as fast as we would have moved through our previous approach. And of those customers, we haven't had any complaints with the connectors we built, which to us was unheard of when we think about developing and maintaining integrations. With Workato, we've productized our API suite, which has given us the ability to now sell connectors. And we've generated over 150K ARR in really just 6 months. So previously, we always looked at professional services as somewhat of a debt to the business, just due to the time and kind of manual processes involved in setting up new customers, a lot of it attached to integrations, which we weren't able to monetize. Now through professional services, we have a full team that's going out and selling connector builds, which is really exciting. It's also improved the overall culture of the team. So they were able to shift from just working through configurations to now learning integration methodology. So we're expecting to double revenue for our connector sales this year. And we're also looking at developing a hybrid self-service model for our customers to be able to activate commonly used connectors. We now have the ability to scale with enterprise needs through Workato. We've won over 300K in new enterprise deals that had requirements into complex APIs. Again, it was something that with our previous method would have required a lot of prioritization and descoping of other initiatives. And now we're able to go to market and support these customers through a seamless approach, leveraging professional services. Up until Workato, we had a public API suite, but a lot of our partners didn't have capacity to code to our APIs. But now that we can be flexible in coding to their platforms, we've developed a series of new strategic partnerships that have created lead gen, revenue share, and improved the overall customer experience, all which were previously unattainable. And now that I have Workato, we've developed over 25 new strategic partners in the past year. Through implementing Workato, we actually saved over 100K in headcount that we were able to repurpose towards feature-driven initiatives in addition to 120K across some of our business units. So 220K in headcount savings. The other key piece is churn. So when you're managing a lot of custom files at scale, it can become challenging from an engineering perspective and also through customer success. We had a lot of what we would classify as missing files that were tied to our legacy integration approach. And through the implementation of Workato, we've not only had 0 missing files, but we've also saved over $300,000 in ARR attached to customers that wanted strategic connectors that weren't available to us through our previous method. So personally, I've been able to exceed all of the implementation OKRs that were set forth by our board of directors, which I would attach largely due to Workato. I think it's helped me grow professionally in a way that I didn't know would have been possible this year. I feel like I'm like so biased towards Workato. Like as I'm saying these things, like I wonder if people actually think this is real. We really have achieved all of these great things through leveraging this platform. So we're super happy.